Let's try out one that you come up with. So take a chord voicing that you know really well, even if it's one that's super like. It could be one that you think is super cool, or one that you think is super boring. And what you'll find out is if it's a chord you think is super boring, you can probably get some really cool chords out of it. So just go ahead and grab any chord from your vocabulary. Let's do it in C. But let's go ahead and start with major 7. But I mean, it could be anything. Like it could be this, which is where I have a root, the 6th. I'm taking our original voicing and just putting a 13 on it. Or maybe instead I could do this one. This is a really cliche one. Right? Or I could do this, which actually involves me repeating a note. Or I could do this, which also involves me repeating a note. The point is like any shape, just any shape. Try any major 7 shape. We could like check it out. We could do C minor 7 flat 5. But the idea is if we do C major 7, then from that we can flat the 7 to get a dominant chord. And then we can flat the 3rd from that and get a minor 7 chord. And then we can flat the 5th from that and get a minor 7 flat 5 chord. So starting with the major 7 is kind of like starting from the source material and then making alterations to that, one note at a time to make new chords from this. Oh, you got C major 7? Cowboy style? All right, cool. So let's write that down. All right, so C major 7. And then I'm going to write out the sort of cowboy style here. We got 3, 2, 0, 0. Okay. And then in my intervals, I'm going to write root, 3rd, 5th, 7th. And let's see what kind of chords we get from this. All right. So the root has to go up to the 3rd. The 3rd has to go up to the 5th. The 5th has to go up to the 7th. And the 7th has to go up to the root. All right. So that means that we're going to have the 3rd, 5th, 7th, and then root. So this is like a piano voicing. That's how you would do that. Not easy. It can be done. And it actually it'll just get easier as you go higher. Like if I did the same thing here, it'd be like that. So I'd say we go ahead and write it down, and then we can actually practice being able to play it because it is quite difficult, but it can be done. I have little girl hands, but I've practiced stretching a lot. Not like practice stretching like but practice like playing chords like this. So it's still not easy, but it comes a little easier. All right, so we're gonna have the tab it out now. 7th fret, 5th fret, 4th fret, and 1st fret. What we could do, and I won't do this just yet, but what we could do is we can move it up an octave, and then our shape would be this. But let's not do that yet. Let's try to be strict for now. Okay, so the next one, our 3rd is going to go up to our 5th. 5th is going to go up to 7th. 7th is going to go up to root. Root's going to go up to 3rd. Okay, so let's see. That's going to be the 5th, which is the 10th fret. And then we need the 7th, right, which is the 9th fret of the D string. And then we need the root, which is going to be, this is going to be really cool. The root is the 5th fret of the G string. And then we need the 3rd, which is also the 5th fret of the G string. Sorry, the B string. Yeah, this is really cool. 10, I've never played this one. Yeah, how cool is that? Easy to think of too. Like if you think of your C triad, think of your Hendrixy type inversion, and you think your major 7. See what I mean? It's the kind of thing I do to make things accessible in my mind. All right. So next up, the 5th has to become the 7th. 7th becomes the root. Root becomes the 3rd. 3rd becomes the 5th. So let's see what this means. We got to have the 7th here, and then the root. Oh yeah, and then the 5th. Sorry, the 3rd. 5th is gonna be way up top. This one, I can't do it. Basically, we got to have our triad like that, and then this note. Okay. All right, so I'm going to write it down anyway. But then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll change these and make them a little bit more playable. Oh, there we go. I got it. Oof, that is not easy. That is way hard. Okay, so that's going to be the 14th fret, 10th fret, 9th fret, 8th fret. All right. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to rewrite the ones that were too difficult to play. The first one is playable, and by the way, this one here I totally think is worthwhile. When you're doing it as low as possible, like this, it's maybe not the most ultra worthwhile, but it's just starting from the 3rd, so it's easy to find. Let's say, for example, we were playing a song in the key of G, right? And I played this. That's doable. That's easily doable. So I think this is worthwhile. We don't throw it away or anything, but I am going to make an easier version. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put put a little arrow, and I'm going to rewrite it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that high note and just move it up an octave, which means changing the string. Whenever we have to simplify something in terms of like physically, technically we can't play a certain thing, we can just break that rule we had of keeping things on the same string. So I'm going to move it up there. Oops. It's pretty tense. Yeah. Now the reason I did it, yeah, all right, cool. So let's see, I'm going to rewrite it. We've got 7, 5, 4, and 8 on the high E. All right. Obviously, another option would have been the low, but that wouldn't be the same like inversion, would it? So that's why this one's kind of better. But of course, you can do one, you can do the other. It's fine. Okay, so I wrote that down as an alternate. And what was the other one that was really hard? Oh yeah, this one here. That was really hard. Okay, so with this one, by putting it on the one we just did, by putting it on the high E string instead of the B string, we still kept it as the highest note. So at least it has some resemblance to our system as it began. So what I'll do is I'll do the same thing here. This is our lowest note. I'll just drop it an octave. Okay, see what I did? So now it's very easy to play. So I'm going to write that down as the alternate for that. So it's going to be low E string, 7th fret, and then the 10th fret on the D string, 9th fret, and 8th fret. Cool? All right, now we got some really cool chords as were before. This is a chord I pretty much would never ever play, ever. If I play that, I'd feel bad about it. But this is a little bit more fun to play, at least. This one is like, why have I never played that? That's perfectly fine, that sounds cool. So In fact, somebody could play something like this. You know, like is this a little moving thing? And that's with that chord in mind, just moving from, yeah. All right, cool, man. So, do you have any questions about this?